it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles. We are day one of our road trip. We are going from Port Orange, Florida to Anamosa, Iowa. 2 days on the road up, 2 days on the road back. Gonna be making some stops on the way back. Might have a series of different videos, not just the auction that we're going to. I don't know what all is gonna make it on the final cut. None of this is planned. Let's hope for a good week. So we are in southwestern Georgia, actually a little farther north. You can see all the power trucks. They got a lot of wind damage here. There was a lot of hurricane damage, billboards that were blown over. Some stations were still out of gas. So they're still recovering from Hurricane Eldora, or whatever the heck the name was. The Wienermobile is behind me. Maybe I'll let it pass. Will I be embarrassed to get passed by the Wienermobile? Boy, that thing is weird. Well, here it comes. Baloney has a first name. There it goes. The Wienermobile. Welcome to Tennessee.
Welcome to Tennessee.
Welcome to Tennessee. Well, we're making a stop on our way to Iowa. And you've been here before. This is Rusty's shop tour. You want to see a lot of cool bikes, go back and look at that video. A lot of interesting stuff. We're not going to rehash all of it, but Rusty's got a few new things to show us. He's gonna share with us. So let's check this out.
You last time?
Did I?
I don't know.
I don't even remember what time of year it was.
Well, it's been longer than I thought. I was thinking it was a few months.
Oh, there's water down there. I always said your house was on the edge of a cliff.
Sort of. It's on the edge of a steep bluff. It goes all the way up to
So you remember a lot of this from our other video. We're not going to rehash it, but this is why you have to go
more than once.
look at that other video. This isn't John. No, this is a later.
No, that's the one that
this
was
is like
on,
69,
that's a
70.
Yeah, that's the one that was on Bring a Trailer.
Oh, this is my favorite year.
It is mine too. I've always liked those.
I think they're the prettiest.
Yeah. This is the last year before they changed them over to the what do they call it? The Montadero looking thing.
The 6 days. They came out with a 6 days, but yeah, it does have an El Montadero. Actually, the tank is very similar.
Yeah,
but the rest of it is different.
The tank is like the old Persang and the Bandito.
No, the Persang didn't have a tank like that.
The first ones did.
No, the first one was a Matisse.
No, I'm talking about the Persangs.
The first Persang was a Matisse. That's a Persang 1.
But the early ones did when they started making them red. I think they had that. We'll check, because I could
Yeah,
be wrong again,
yeah.
as wifey likes to say.
Yeah,
She gets to say that pretty much 4 times
that's
a day.
really nice.
Wrong again, Rusty. Yeah, it is. It's a great example. I had to do a few little things to it, but it was mostly done.
I don't remember these on mine.
Those were in the 70s only.
If I remember, I had a 69. It had a different headlight with a speedo in it.
Sure did.
But I didn't remember those.
Those weren't on the 69.
I might have some sales
Also,
literature.
the 69s had a different tail light. This tail
Well,
light
they all came with different
every
tail
year,
lights.
something
No
different.
matter what people put on, yeah.
And this is they did put these on the 70s. This is the original 70 tag from California.
And that's aluminum.
Yes. And they were in 70.
Well, my 69 had steel.
Yeah, 69s. So, you know,
Or whatever they had at Bultaco, and they bolted them
that's
on.
really more like what it was, but I
Yeah.
think some of them were steel.
I prefer the steel ones on a bike like this.
Well, you're going to tear them all up anyway. That's when Preston Petty started coming out with his
Well, the
plastic finish.
trials bikes, I could see why they do aluminum, but on these, which are sort of dual sport,
You know, if that fender were to survive long enough without being crushed and destroyed, it's going to crack.
yeah,
You know, because it's so thin. It's a very
Yeah.
thin wall. But they're just gorgeous machines. You know, it's just eye candy, and of course
very nice.
It'll
How come
probably-
you don't put it on the side stand?
because it leans over here or over there, and
Too
I'm
far?
always
Yeah, okay.
I'm always running in and
Carting
out the,
stuff in.
Yeah, I'm always running in and out the door with stuff.
Did we see this?
I don't think this was here. This is a 61 BSA 650 big valve super rocket. Now, I did a restoration on this bike, years and years ago for a friend. And the part of the agreement was, if you ever decide to get rid of it, it comes to me first.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he got rid of it. It didn't come to me.
Uh-huh.
So, but then it found its way back to his place, to his collection. And then I had something he wanted and one.
So what's a
thing
big
with
valve?
Just that, I think. I think it's got slightly larger intake or exhaust valves, or possibly both. And it's got a slightly different cam. In other words, it's their performance.
Does it
version.
come with a different engine prefix or anything? How do you know it's a big valve?
It may come with a different engine preview. You know, I don't know. Well, one way that you know is because it's got a sticker on the gas tank. Of course, you could put that on your van.
Yeah.
I don't know. Take a look at that thing. I'll research that. But I do the bike.
CA10R.
The guy that I restored it for, who's an old friend, he had history with this thing for decades.
Is that HHC?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Is there a stamp on the transmission?
I'm sure there is. Well, the transmission.
Standard.
Yeah, it is a pre-unit engine, so I don't know.
It says standard.
And of course, I think you saw the Norton and
That's a Mark III with electric start.
That's actually a Mark II. Mark IIIs are 75s with left side shifters and factory electric start.
Oh,
This
that's
has-
the aftermarket?
This has Matt Rambo at Colorado Norton Works. This
People
has-
like those.
I love it. He does everything he makes is really top notch. The alternative is an Alton, and I like those too. But after doing a lot of research and holding them and looking at them firsthand, and
But you
really-
put the early style drum brake on it too.
well, that drum breaks off a 1974 Yamaha TD 350.
Oh, it's that four shoe.
That's a 4-leading
That's
shoe. brake.
yeah, okay, I see that now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I had put a Ducati front brake on it, and Matt Rambo sells those also.
What brake did Ducati use? They didn't use their own.
They
Did they
used a
use?
single disc in '73 and '4. They used a single disc Lockheed brake, which was
Yeah, okay.
calling it a brake's kind of generous, really. It would slow it down if you really,
That is generous.
Yeah, I mean, you'd really have to you know, make plans to stop. And before that, they had a single or double leading shoe drum brake, depending on what year.
Yeah,
Um,
those are the ones that had the Atlas forks on them, the road holder forks.
that's right.
I like
I
those.
don't know that the Commandos ever had the rod. I know the Dominators. and
I
the
think-
the
I
Atlas
think
absolutely did had the road holders.
the first year.
You think the first Commandos
you,
did?
you know, and they had that chrome ring around the headlight,
Yeah.
a little bit different. I
Yeah.
like them a lot.
Yeah. I like these 74s, which is what that is, for a few reasons. There's a few little improvements that they made, just little minor stuff. And of course, this one's been really messed with. I put a 67 Triumph tail light on it and kind of made
Yeah,
it fit.
and I see the turn signals.
Yeah, those are just some Taiwanese turn signals I found on eBay, but they kind of look okay.
Let me just give it another once over if there's anything else that I.
I think that
I think that's pretty
the
much.
Sears and the Dirt, those board trackers were here, but there are 2 more board trackers which have entered the.
Oh, I think you only had 3.
I did. I had these 2 Blue Indians and
I don't think you had this Excelsior.
this Excelsior came this past. Give me most.
Was that from Las
It's
Vegas?
from Vegas. It came this past January, and then the Harley right behind you also was part of that this past January.
Oh, here it is. Oh, another chromed up one.
Yeah, it's all nickeled up. Yeah, people tend to overrestore them. That one, you know, the one that's the 2 that are the most accurate is the Blue Indian here, and then the 28 Harley, FHAC or F something AC. It's some kind of special factory works bike that they did back then. That Indian is grossly over restored, but who cares?
Yeah.
All right, now these weren't here. I don't think. This matchless. This is a 57 G11, which is a 600. Basically, it's a 593 or something like that. It's their version of a desert sled. Siamese low pipes, non-folding pegs.
What size front
Got
is
the
that?
road holder or the telehydraulic forks. Actually.
Oh, it is only 18. For some
Yeah.
reason it looks bigger. Probably because it's got the full fender on it.
Yeah. That came from my buddy Nick Smith out in California. He's got the Classic Avenue website.
You can always tell a matchless because of the pots on the top.
And then this right here wasn't here. This showed up from this past Mecum. This is a 57 BSA B33. This was a complete accident. This was an accidental child. I had been to the bathroom and to grab a hot dog, and as I came back, my buddies were talking, and I'm sort of standing over listening to them.
And you bid on the wrong bike?
I heard it out of the side of from the side, I heard, last call going, and I looked up and he had his hand up, and this thing was on the thing. I hadn't even looked at it in the cycle corral, and it was like at $4,000 or something. I said, no, hell no. No, for $4,200,
And you got it.
So I said, okay, yeah, I'm in. And as soon as I did, he hammered it down, and I bought the damn thing. And I told my buddy, I said, I have no idea if this is a junker.
That poor seller.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So
and it turned out, I went back and looked at it in the cycle corral later, and it was absolutely a
always
beautifully
use
done
a
machine.
reserve, folks. I mean, I can't put hide nor hair on how Mecum figures out what to
Well, I'll tell you something.
delay on and what to hammer down quick. I have no idea. I can't figure that out.
I've never listed anything with them, but I do know that all of the auction houses are pretty hot on having no reserve auctions. But still, they'll take some that do have reserves, but it has to be somewhat realistic in somebody's opinion, and I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well,
I think
it's too risky.
The Square 4 was here, right? Because it came from my buddy Nick Smith, also out in
Now, did you tell me
out at.
the 4-pipers are worth less or worth more?
I don't really know. I always wanted the 4-piper. I think the 4-piper is more popular. And the 4-piper is what I had always wanted. And then I got to looking at these old 2-pipers, and just visually, there's so much. They're not nearly as heavy. So the other exhaust is right in here through this fin, and then it all just blows out the one thing. But somehow before I got one, my opinions changed, and I decided I like.
Does it make a difference, or is it just a matter of? I thought these were more desirable than the later ones.
It depends on what weirdo
I don't know.
You're talking to.
Okay, so it's
you're
not.
talking to this weirdo, so yeah, I like this. But that was only recently. I mean, for the longest time, I like the old the 4-pipe versions, but they're visually quite a bit heavier. I think that there were improvements at that time from 52 to 58. I think this is the last year of the 2-pipe, but it's I like it. It runs. It sounds beautiful. It's just gorgeous sounding. It's just a gentleman's express, but I ride it anyway.
I might get one.
Well, they're really, really fun machines. They're just so smooth. The pistons, it's got.
I know they're
360. They're both 360 cranks, but they're geared
looks like
180 apart.
It looks like they're playing tic-tac-toe when they're going.
The rear crank turns forward, and the front crank they're geared, and it turns in reverse. And even though they're both at 180 degrees, side to side, that is. Going up, I mean 360 rather, going up at the same time. But they have, I think this set's 180 off from this set. But they're really smooth. And they make a nice little, make a lovely little quaint
I have to
exhaust sound.
show your Cannondale sticker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have to share that. I have some Cannondale followers.
Well, let's give them some stickers. I think I've got 3 or 4 left. I'll give them to you.
No,
and-
I have some too.
You got some? Okay.
Yeah, I have like 4 of those bikes.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
I almost bought one, and they were getting such a bad rap.
In fact,
due to the fuel
on
injection.
the way here, I dropped an engine off to have done at the
Was it a Cannondale engine?
Yeah,
Oh,
at
okay.
Black Widow where they have them
Okay.
done. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this up. So before we get all excited about what's here, we gotta remember we're going to
Going to Meekum.
Anamosa. So.